When you hear privilege, what do you think of? Let's contemplate child privilege and child poverty. I know I have privileges that help me, like knowing I always have food and a house. You might think, isn't privilege a bad thing? Most privilege comes from where you're born, who your parents are, and what you look like. Most privilege is unnecessary, but our world has grown to know these thoughts. It can be helpful, but it is not fair for some to have privilege and others not to. The definition of privilege is a right or immunity granted as a peculiar benefit, advantage, or favor, only available to a certain group of people. In my opinion, kids should know what privilege they have, because if we learn, we can share resources and help others. Compare many children in countries that are privileged and don't know or don't care to kids that need help and are vulnerable. We just think our lives are the same as everyone else's. This is a large topic to cover in a small amount of time. It's important to talk about, but hard to discuss. Your thought of America is affected by what your parents do and where you live. When parents have money, kids can go to better schools. In some third world countries, to get a good education, kids need a private education. Kids get better jobs after that. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, in 2018, 50.7 million kids went to private schools around the world. I am privileged to go to a gifted school near my house. Behind my school, there is a place called the Dream Center. It is a place for people to go when they don't have food, water, or shelter. Many people stay in or around it. I've given food to them with my teacher, and they're just like us, but don't have what we have. A family friend of mine, Anne Claire, and her coworkers, Masoon and Mohammed, work with Catholic Relief Services. They work with kids in vulnerable situations such as war and famine. Their organization works with over 100 countries to help kids and adults. They have noticed one of their main focuses are on women because they stay at home and see violence more often. I have also noticed kids hear shoutings in homes and feel scared. Many people are traumatized and depressed. To connect with children, they have programs similar to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Kids have many stressors, meaning many situations that make their life difficult. When a kid has too many stressors, they most of the time need permanent spots in clubs, but those aren't available. They can only help kids in 4-month sessions and then switch to help others. But most of these kids need permanent spots in clubs, not 4 months, Mohammed says. In third world countries, there are less opportunities, more violence, and often jobs aren't available. There are many people waiting in lines to get food, water, and shelter. In first world countries, there are more opportunities, better jobs, more stable governments, and a higher number of people who own their own homes. The United States is one of those countries. Since we have all this privilege, we can grow as a country, and we should start teaching kids about privilege in their lives and in America. In my ideal America, everyone is equal, all people have jobs and safe communities, and everyone has joyful lives. Can't we all be privileged and learn about it? I am privileged and I am America.